Streaming on clickorlando.com, you're watching News 6 at 10 p.m.
Breaking now on News 6, a man was just taken into custody outside Pulse, and it comes just a short time after road crews hosed away rainbow-colored chalk. Also now on News 6, a few showers and maybe storms lingering late. How the weather may have even caused a major disruption at Disney.
This person decided to take it out on a helpless, defenseless animal, which is disgusting.
That commissioner outraged after a young swan was killed by a man at Lake Eola. The charges he's now facing. Also new at 10, we dig deep into the Orange County organizations targeted by Florida's DOJ. We're asking just what they do that has the state unhappy about public spending. And a student arrested for taking upskirt videos in the UCF library. His defense? It's his job to take those videos, he says. But we have to start now at 10 tonight with that breaking scene outside of Pulse nightclub. Thanks for joining us. I'm Matt Austin. Ginger has the evening off. So here's what we know. The man was taken into custody tonight by troopers. He was not one of the regular protesters. They say the man was seen with rainbow-colored chalk footprints chalked up to his own shoes, walked in the crosswalk there. So far, FHP is not commenting, but not so coincidentally, maybe 2 hours before this happened, we saw state road crews fire up the pressure washers and wash away today's chalk painting by protesters. As Orange County community correspondent Mike Valenti shows us, troopers had even warned protesters they might be breaking the law if they keep up the coloring.
With FHP vehicles parked nearby, newly placed signs from FDOT warn against defacing the roadway and impeding traffic. You can see someone placed this sticker here right on the sign that says "Love Wins." More than a week into a back and forth with FDOT, protesters donning rainbow colors have shown no interest in leaving this area.
This is a different one that they were saying.
Friday afternoon, a sergeant with FHP spoke with protesters who were asking for clarity about what is and what is not allowed. The sergeant cited two statutes that he said they would be violating if they continued to cover the crosswalk in chalk. One of them, 316.0775, prohibits interference with traffic control devices. The interaction appeared to be less rocky than one that had unfolded a few hours prior.
Just don't do it again. It doesn't matter. What crimes are they committing? Sounds like FDOT.
Around the time News 6 was on the air at noon Friday, this scene unfolded.
I already give out warnings to two people.
For what? What did they violate?
The tension eventually diffused, and protesters picked the chalk back up.
I find it to be an invalid statute to be arresting people for chalking a sidewalk, and on top of that, most likely an infringement on First Amendment right to free speech.
Local attorney Blake Simons showed up at Pulse on his own time Friday. No one has been arrested, but he handed out his cards, just in case they need his services. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
Well, horrible. That's how city leaders are describing the killing of a baby swan at Lake Eola Friday afternoon. Orlando police say the man admitted to twisting the swan's neck and carrying its dead body around the lake. Your downtown Orlando community correspondent, Jarrell Baker, tells us more.
When you stop by Lake Eola, it's hard to miss the white feathers and long-necked swans. Unfortunately, one man decided to take the life of a young swan just released into the park a week ago.
It's heartbreaking. I mean, it was a person who was clearly mentally ill.
It happened around 12:30 Friday afternoon. District 4 Commissioner Patty Sheehan says that a transient person walked up behind a young mute swan and twisted its neck. She says that the man was arrested while carrying the dead body around the lake.
We hope that people come to beautiful Lake Eola Park to enjoy our wildlife, to enjoy the swans, but there unfortunately are people who have mental issues or problems, and this person decided to take it out on a helpless, defenseless animal, which is disgusting.
Now, according to OPD, the man, who we're not identifying due to a possible mental illness, is charged with third-degree grand theft and animal cruelty.
No, what are you doing?
He's rescuing them.
No.
It's one of a handful of life-threatening encounters swans have endured over the years from humans. In 2021, a man was arrested after he was recorded snatching two baby swans from their nest.
It is part of the reason why we have this feeding program, the vaccination program, is so the swans can be big enough to protect themselves. And if you've ever tried to pick one up, they're, they can be pretty scrappy.
Sheehan says they have several security measures in place around the lake, including cameras and park rangers monitoring the swans.
For the most part, our swans are out on the lake. They're protected. But like I say, in this situation, it was the fact that it was a juvenile. It didn't have that protection mode in yet. It hadn't quite learned because we just released them.
The man's bond is set at $7,000. In Orlando, Jarrell Baker, News 6.
Labor Day weekend is upon us. The evening fairly quiet for most of you, but you will be dodging some rain when the real weekend comes. Let's get you right over to meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
Yeah, that's right, Matt. Earlier this afternoon, I was tracking some strong thunderstorms moving through central Florida, looking at one lone downpour that is falling over parts of Maytown and also Scottsmore this late Friday night. For the rest of central Florida, things are drying out, so that's fantastic news. Most of the shower and storm activity way offshore, and I am thinking we'll have a very quiet overnight. Now for today, it was toasty. We saw an official high of 92 degrees in Orlando. As you take a live look outside, the city looking absolutely beautiful. We actually did not pick up any rain over the metro area today, but tomorrow rain chances will slowly go up, but that won't be until later on in the afternoon. If you have any plans tomorrow morning, we look fine. 20% chance for isolated showers at least through noon. We're at 84 around 11. By 2, the rain coverage going up to 40%. We're in the upper 80s, and then again, that rain will cool us down into the middle 80s by 5. Rain chances are high as well heading into Sunday. We'll talk more about it coming up.
All right, thank you, Michelle. New at 10 tonight, our stormy weather may be to blame for a disruption at Walt Disney World. During the start of News 6 at 6, reports started flooding in on social media about a lightning strike. That may have knocked out rides. Even the monorail, the Disney food blog, called it a widespread power outage. Block Disney described it as a power surge. Most convincingly, though, Attractions Magazine posted some cell phone video from a staff writer stuck in a boat on Pirates of the Caribbean. The pirates were moving without music or sound. So our producers opened up the Disney World app to find about 40 attractions down all at once. This is Epcot around 6. It appears to be the hardest hit of all of them. Hollywood Studios had most of its headliner attractions down. The website thrilldata.com that tracks wait time says this started around 5:15. Most parks are now closed. We have reached out to Disney and they have not commented yet. Another big story tonight, video voyeurism at UCF. A student was taken away from the school's library in handcuffs after police say he was caught pointing a camera up a woman's skirt. Police say the suspect tried to explain himself by saying it was his job. Yansu Lee here is now facing charges of video voyeurism and tampering with evidence. Lee faced a judge today where he was granted a $5,000 bond on his first charge and a $1,500 bond on the second. The victim in this told UCF police she was sitting at a desk studying when she noticed the suspect's cell phone and confronted him about it. The arrest affidavit says Lee later told a witness that taking videos was his job and that there are entire communities for these kinds of videos online.
It's awful for him to say it's his job too and try and validate things is wrong.
It's surprising that happened in the library because I feel like that's probably one of the safer areas.
The witness told police Lee deleted the video. UCF police are investigating. New at 10 tonight now. One day after Florida DOJ issued subpoenas to 16 Orange County workers over funding by the county for a handful of nonprofit organizations, we decided to dig a little deeper. Who are these groups? What was the tax money going for? News 6 community correspondent Troy Campbell has those answers and talked with the head of one of the nonprofits who was surprised by all this.
This is a copy of the investigative subpoena given to the county attorney. Now, in it, it lists 6 organizations that it wants to see more documentation for. So we spoke to some of those groups about the sudden scrutiny over their organizations.
Were you surprised to hear Zebra Youth was listed on the DOJ investigative subpoena?
A little bit. I was a little bit taken back by that. You know, we never want to, have any attention that's not regular day-to-day stuff that we are doing to support our mission. So I was a little taken back by it, yes.
Heather Wilkie is the executive director of Zebra Youth, an organization listed in the investigative subpoena issued to Orange County. She says she's concerned it could affect future funding.
So am I worried? I am. Am I more worried than normal? Maybe a little bit because of the audits that are happening, but certainly I do have, hope and belief that we will be okay.
Also included in the list, the Central Florida Urban League, who tells us it is aware of the recent announcement regarding the Florida Department of Government Efficiency's investigation into Orange County government. Orange County says the group receives $100,000 annually to work with high-risk youth. Also included is the Black History Project, who receives $50,000 annually to provide services such as programs for anger management and conflict resolution. The group tells us, quote, it exists to educate, empower, and inspire all students through Black history, civic engagement, and leadership development. In addition, Orange County says the Stono Institute for Freedom, Justice, and Security received $100,000 annually to educate youth how to de-escalate situations with law enforcement, but that contract expired in 2024. Also listed is the Orlando Youth Alliance, who Orange County says received $35,000 annually for support groups and mentoring activities. Lastly, Orange County says the Caribbean Community Connections of Orlando currently receives $50,000 annually to help members of the community connect with essential resources. And the subpoena does list a September 8th deadline to turn over all of the documents that are requested within here. After that, it's unclear just how long the state's investigation will last. I'm your Orange County community correspondent, Troy Campbell, News 6.
Well, the python problem in the Everglades is so bad, Florida holds an annual hunt, but that competition is not enough. Next to 10, researchers are turning to toy bunnies that are robots, how they're making a real impact and helping reel in the python population.
All I wanted to do since I was little is to help people, and I love it. I love it. Wouldn't give it up for anything else.
He saves lives on the job, but this paramedic was just honored for jumping into action off the clock. Next, how he was in the right place to save a boy from drowning. You're watching News 6 at 10 on a Friday. We are live tonight covering Ponce Inlet, Point Siena, and all of Central Florida. Well, now at 10 and only on News 6, meet a hero who saved a little boy from drowning in Altamont Springs. He works as a paramedic, but was in the right place at the right time while off the clock to get results. He shared his story with your Seminole County community correspondent, Catherine Silver.
One moment I saw him running around the pool, and the next moment he's being pulled up from the bottom.
He was under the water, and Mom jumped in and got him.
Everything was pretty much bang, bang, bang.
Christopher Fearon wasn't just in the right place at the right time when a 5-year-old boy was drowning in this pool in Altamont Springs in July.
At that point, it was My body literally just reacted on its own.
He was the right person to come to the rescue.
I'm a Orange County firefighter, paramedic, work at Station 34.
You immediately went into response mode.
My body honestly just moved on its own. I saw it, and by the time I could even put two and two together, I was already tending to him.
At the time, he wasn't working. He was just enjoying a pool day with his own kids.
As soon as I got there, he was purple in the face, so I knew he instantly needed care. He was still gasping, so I flipped him over, let him get that water out. As soon as some of the water came out, he was able to take a deeper breath.
I imagine you took a deep breath at that moment too.
Yes.
Obviously, we see pediatric in our notes and a flip switches.
Wolf Charles is a firefighter paramedic in Seminole County who responded to the call.
For kids, we want to see them crying, yelling. That's normal. For him, not so much. It's not what he's doing. It's kind of worrying us. So we rush him into the back of the rescue.
Friday, Fearon was honored for saving the 5-year-old's life.
I want to present this life-saving award.
A young boy who will now learn how to swim thanks to a scholarship from the Gunnar Martin Foundation.
That's amazing. I'm really happy for him.
This is Florida. We're around pools, we're around bodies of water. Getting that child in a way that they can survive till help arrives is the best prevention we can ask for.
All I wanted to do since I was little is to help people, and I love it. I love it. Wouldn't give it up for anything else.
Catherine Silver, News 6.
Florida wildlife crews are using a sneaky trick to try to catch some Burmese pythons. They're placing robotic marsh bunnies to lure out the invasive snakes. The toy robots have a heat signature, bunny smell diffuser, and enough natural movement to mimic the real deal. Video cameras monitor the bunnies and send out a signal when a python is starting to close in.
We're trying to attract or lure pythons to come out from their hiding places and come to us, essentially. So come out of their hiding places and aggregate into localized areas where they're easier to detect and then remove.
Total cost per robot rabbit is about $4,000. Well, we all know kids can be brutal to classmates about old clothes or worn shoes. So tonight, community correspondent Alex Cook and digital journalist Christy Zizzo show us a program funded largely by donors that helps homeless students fit in.
Most of the time when we think of homelessness, we think of the panhandler on the street. It's just really down to, do the families know that there's a program to support them and how to identify. We have our kids closet that social workers or any OCPS staff member can actually put in a request for clothing for a student, and we can get them new clothing so that they don't have the stigma of coming in with clothes that may have been used or worn and not necessarily gently used, but like used that even their shoes are falling apart, and we have the ability to give them, some shoes so that they can better fit in with their peers. We also have school supplies and hygiene items, and we cover field trips for students as well so that they can go on those educational field trips with their peers.
And we have kids say it means a lot. It makes me feel better about myself. It's I don't have to wear the same old shoes again and again. It means a lot to have opportunities for this, and my new shoes make my feet feel more comfortable. They know that there's, hardship, and they know that their parents work very hard. So they've even said, thank you, my mom is going to be so happy. They work really hard for their money. Their attendance improves and things like that. So it's great.
Really is great. If you want to help OCPS's Kids Closet or find a program in your county school district, head to clickorlando.com/homelessness and click on the story. All right, time to get a check of that weather. I know you're wondering about your weekend. So first off, let's go over what happened on Friday. What happened today, Michelle?
We had a few strong thunderstorms, Matt, roll through central Florida. Not as active as yesterday, but some of them were packing a punch. Heavy rain, lightning, gusts up to 40, 50 miles per hour. But I have great news. During the overnight hours, things will be quiet, so that's great. Heading into the Labor Day weekend, so many families, friends, either visiting from out of town or probably going somewhere else. But if you do have family visiting, looking at a pretty nice forecast, at least for the first half of the day, but rain chances are pretty moderate to high, especially during the afternoon into the evening hours. And in terms of the tropics, I am monitoring one spot out in the eastern Atlantic. There are no tropical threats for us here in Central Florida, but we'll briefly talk about it. As we take a look at the radar scan, everything is primarily quiet. I am tracking 2 thunderstorms, one here out in parts of Volusia and northern Orange County. We're looking at Maytown getting a good soaking rain, Osceola, Scottsmore also getting a good soaking rain with some gusty winds and lightning. Heading to Brevard County, really along the coastal spots, along the beaches, getting heavy rain, Indian Atlantic, Melbourne Beach, but things are moving offshore, so things should improve within the hour. And here's why. We have been stuck in this rainy pattern, stationary front situated over northern Florida. That area of low pressure is expected to get closer to us as we approach the weekend, and that's going to increase our rain chances. It is gusty in a few locations, clocking winds of 18 miles per hour in Cocoa Beach, 19 miles per hour in Melbourne. Tomorrow's planner starting off dry, 20% chance for a few showers, and then rain chances gradually going up to 60% through the afternoon. Now, tomorrow morning, a few isolated showers are possible, as I mentioned. Closer to noon, we'll see scattered showers beginning over parts of Marion, Flagler, and Volusia counties, and that'll continue through most of the day, on and off showers. And again, a few tropical downpours are possible with a few embedded thunderstorms. Overnight into Sunday, looks fine, nice and quiet, but then we'll have another batch of rain beginning to develop around the 2-3 o'clock hour, getting heavy in many locations around 4 or 5 o'clock. Notice the breaks within the rain. It'll get breezy in a few locations, and then a few residual showers are possible heading into your Sunday night. In terms of the rainfall here through Sunday night, most areas picking up less than an inch, but locally higher amounts are certainly possible, between 2 to 3 inches. That can certainly cause minor flooding in those low-lying areas, and because of that, a marginal risk has been issued for a good chunk of Central Florida for that isolated minor flooding, and that is for tomorrow. Now, switching gears, what's happening here over the tropics. There's that area I was talking about, the National Hurricane Center has highlighted, and here is that wave that is expected to emerge off the coast of Africa Sunday. They have placed a 30% chance for tropical formation in the next 7 days. So here's a look at your 7-day forecast. 60 to 70% coverage as we head into the Labor Day weekend, but it is going to keep our temperatures comfortable in the upper 80s. But keep in mind the humidity will be rather high, so it's still going to feel like the middle 90s in many locations. Heading into Monday, a high of 86, also going to keep rain chances high at least through Wednesday, but notice the daytime high staying in the upper 80s, and then we're back in the 90s Thursday and Friday.
Michelle, thank you. Well, tiny homes could be coming to DeLand. The city is looking at them as a way to bring more affordable housing. Next at 10, Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed breaks down how it would work.
DeLand is looking to expand its options for people who either can't afford a house or those who would rather just live minimally. Now, on average, tiny homes can cost anywhere from about $50,000 to $300,000. Part of the city's work right now is drafting the rules if this gets through.
Planning staff have done a lot of work researching what other communities and other states have done, and so there'll be standards of what they look like.
Mayor Chris Cloudman says the city is considering allowing tiny homes and tiny house communities around the downtown DeLand area.
We've looked at kind of a slightly different variation on either townhouses or condos in kind of a village format.
They would likely have to be on a permanent foundation, not on wheels, and they typically can be anywhere from 200 to 600 square feet. They would have to meet all of Florida's building codes for plumbing and electrical too.
You can have a single tiny home on your property and have either an aging parent or even a child just starting out be able to still live at home but be more independent.
The Neighborhood Center in DeLand also sees this as an opening to help more people. The center helps people experiencing homelessness and works to prevent it.
It would allow us to actually develop an area behind our bridge shelter to put transitional housing.
They're looking to use shipping containers to make a small, tiny home community right next to the center.
There's so many unique ways to have these containers created, and they're really lovely. And so we're planning to put 9 of them behind on an open lot behind our bridge shelter, where people coming out of the shelter can then stay in the transitional housing for 1 to 2 years.
Now, the tiny homes will go to the city's planning board on September 10th and then to the city commission on October 6th. I'm your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
Check out all of tonight's stories and breaking news on News 6 Plus. Have a great night.